For more than half a century, people have predicted that we will someday be living in a paperless society. Technology has eliminated much of the need for some things like phone books and utility bills, but with a quick look at most people's desks, you see that we are far from banishing the threat of paper cuts. Sticky notes, magazines, bills, and photos are just the start of the paper piles. Add some pens, a phone cable, and a coffee cup or two, and you've got yourself quite a mess. And it doesn't go unnoticed. In a recent survey, 57% of people admit they judge their coworkers by how clean or dirty they keep their workspaces, Amy. Meanwhile, nearly half say they have been appalled by how messy a colleague's office is. Okay, stop. Amy Cargus, our producer, walks by my office every day. Buddy, I think that she chose this topic today because she thinks I'm a messy Marvin.
Well, but Dale, there's not really that much there. You really need stuff. I don't know where that came from. You really don't have a lot of stuff in your office. Well, I think it's more talking about my office.
Okay, then let's let you ride that.
I'll do it.
The problem even has its own holiday. Since 1982, the second Monday of January has been designated as National Clean Your Desk Day. Is there a day for everything,
There's
buddy?
a day for everything.
Of course, clutter isn't just a problem for folks at work. Almost everybody could do with a little more organization at home as well. Joining us today to help you make sure your desk, home, and business all pass muster is professional organizer Laura Ray. Laura is the Georgia chapter president for the National Association of Professional Organizers.
And
Laura,
an old friend of ours.
Yeah, how are you, Laura?
Yes, good. Thank you for having me on, Dale, and good to talk with you again, buddy.
Hey, it's great to talk to you. Welcome.
Help!
Right? She hears that a lot.
I know you do. Laura, tell me, I don't think our listeners had a clue that there is any such thing as a Association of Professional Organizers. So what is this all about?
Sure. We are, across the nation, 4,000 strong. We have residential organizers, business organizers, financial organizers, and it's an association where we can get training, and we have a code of ethics, and we want to step up our professional game always. And so it's a good group. We've got about 85 people here in Georgia who are part of our chapter.
That is so cool. So, Laura, I am closer to being a neat freak than a messy Marvin. But what happens is the proverbial straw on the camel's back. When one thing gets cluttered, then I just give up for a while. And, until it overwhelms me and I freak and I decide I've got to clean and I've got to organize everything. How do people generally get disorganized? How does this happen?
Sure. Well, you make a good point of once you lose control, that it's so easy to throw in the towel. I mean, this time of year people do that with diets too and exercise, and organization is no different from that.
So true.
Basically, I mean, how do you get disorganized? Well, first of all, you have to have homes for items and systems in place, and it takes some forethought to figure out how are you going to keep up with your to-do list, how are you going to keep up with your calendar, your email, and everything that remains on your desk.
Absolutely. And what I find fascinating, buddy, is that we all live in homes now that are generally twice as large as the homes we grew up in,
and
if
have
not
twice
more.
as much stuff.
And we have a lot less space. We think that we're crowded and we need more space.
Well, we just filled it up.
So, Laura, are you working with people, and I'm going to try to be very sensitive here, are you working with people that have a sickness?
Hoarders?
Or are you working with people that just are disorganized? Or both?
Sure. That's a good question. A lot of my clients and a lot of clients who come to organizers, they just don't have time. They don't have time and they don't have the energy to put it together. My clients tend to be, there's some kind of season of life change going on, whether they've started a business or started a second business or they had a new baby or they're handling their mother's estate, and all of a sudden, paperwork that was manageable to them before is now out of control. So we have a lot of clients like that, and then there are some clients who paper kind of eludes them. It's not a sickness. It's just that we have financial planners. If you're not good at doing that yourself, and planning your financial future. And so, now there are organizers who can help you if your paperwork becomes a nightmare to figure out a system for it.
So, I think that I would work really well with you, and I'll tell you why. I respect what you do, and I've seen the results of what you do, but I am the kind of person that if someone tells me where to put something, I feel so much better about doing it than if I came up with the idea of where to put it. Does that make any sense?
Yes. Just a little validation goes a long way, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And you're a professional organizer, so clearly your thoughts on how to organize things would be superior to mine. But I would imagine what you do is you sit down and you talk with the person about their goals and what they're trying to accomplish. Am I right?
Yes. So there's the consultant part of it where I try to find out, what's going to work for them, what's going to work for their personality, their style. Some people like everything out, they're visual, and then some people want everything put away, they don't want to see a thing. And so, I figure out what that is, and then I also can help them do it.
Yeah. I've got a thing for folders. If I can put my life in a folder, I feel organized. Mm-hmm. And then I label the folder, and then I know where to put the folder. And it's kind of like this system that if I've got this idea in a folder, it's valid. And I know where to find it, and I know where to go get it. And then Jennifer Schulten, who is our national sales director for TrustDALE.com, she's got a notebook thing. She likes to write everything down in a notebook. I would be afraid to guess how many notebooks Jennifer owns. I guess it's just different ways people feel comfortable in organizing their stuff.
Yes, exactly. So, and some people are paper and pen, and other people like to put everything on their phone, or a computer.
Yeah, let's talk about that when we come back.
Yeah, I was about to say, Laura, I want to find out why the computer didn't save the trees. I want to find out if we can put, good for you, buddy, if we can put everything on a flash drive, then why do we keep printing more stuff?
It's on the cloud.
It's on the cloud. I don't trust the cloud.
That's fluffy.
Yeah, I've got pictures on the cloud. I'm scared.
It's fluffy. I like that.
Oh, that's cute. So if you've got a tough buying decision to make and you've got your head in the sand, take your head out of the sand and go to TrustDALE.com. When you go there, you're going to find hundreds of companies that have passed my 7-point investigative process and honor the Make It Right guarantee, which means if you purchase their product based on my recommendation, then I'm going to ensure that you get what you agreed to get in writing, or I make it right. We'll be right back.
Good afternoon. Got one stalled out. That's DRT dead right there on Georgia Porter northbound near Lenox. They were moving out of the way. After that, just a solid B2B ride. Heavy, steady, bumper to bumper all the way up to Holcomb Bridge Road in Roswell. Also, new trouble on 285 eastbound near I-20 to East Freeway. In DeKalb County, you are backed up solid to Boulder Crest. I-75 northbound still trying to recover at Mount Perrin, heading up into Cobb County after that earlier wreck near the North 120 loop. Backed everything up across the Maddox Bridge as you were coming out of town. All right, Mad Man there. Talk Radio 640 WGST.
This report is brought to you by the Foundation for a Better Life.
Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor?
Hi, neighbor.
Mr. Rogers passed along friendship, hoping we would too. Friendship, pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
Ground Zero with Clyde Lewis, tonight at 10:06 on Talk Radio 640 WGST.
We're watching, we're telling, TrustDALE.com.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell. Ready to save big bucks on energy bills? Lots of companies claim to insulate your home, but with eShield 11,000, my investigation finds Home Energy Solutions delivers up to 40% in energy savings. Plus, your entire purchase is protected by my Make It Right guarantee. Call for your TrustDALE deal.
We're watching, we're telling, TrustDALE.com.
For any type of electrical help you need, Mr. Sparky, America's on-time electrician, can help. Lights flickering? Mr. Sparky can help. Broken light switch? Mr. Sparky can help. Need help with the kids' lemonade stand? Well, maybe. Call Mr. Sparky today for any of your electrical needs. There's no need to put it off. Call now and get $50 off any repair.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8
Some limitations and exclusions apply. Locations independently owned and operated and fully licensed.
Why do so many people use TrustDALE.com? You have to admit, there's lots of online review sites. It can be really confusing. But with TrustDALE.com, there's a big difference. Only TrustDALE.com actually does the research for you to find the best. Every company has to pass consumer investigator Dale Cardwell's 7-point investigative review. Now, that's why thousands of consumers rely on TrustDALE.com to find top quality and reputable service providers. From electricians, plumbers, and auto repair to attorneys and even doctors, it's all at TrustDALE.com. But there's even more. At TrustDALE.com, Dale stands behind the companies he recommends with his Make It Right guarantee. Now that's purchasing with maximum peace of mind. Plus, there's always great money-saving deals. If you're looking for the best, go to TrustDALE.com today for free researched solutions. Why? Because for your home, family, health, and business, you can trust Dale.
More than 1 million veterans are returning home over the next few years. These men and women have elite military training and valuable professional skills. They also need jobs. Talk Radio 640 WGST is leading the iHeartRadio Show Your Stripes movement to support hiring vets. Get involved at showyourstripes.org and learn about business and employment opportunities. Hire smart. Hire vets. Powered by military.com and monster.com.
Now, taking your calls and confronting the bad guys. Trust Dale Radio. Here's your consumer investigator, Dale Cardwell.
Laura Ray is our guest today. She's the chapter president of the National Association of Professional Organizers. And so, that's interesting. I wonder how the organizers organize themselves, buddy.
Well, I was going to ask that question because, Laura, I've often wondered if you are a naturally organized person, or is it something you've had to struggle with, or would we be surprised if we were to see your office?
Oh, well, I love the question. Yes, I walk the walk, I talk the talk.
I'm sure.
Yes, I was born organized, as I like to say.
Yep.
A lot of organizers were, but some are learned. Some knew that it improved their life so much that they wanted to help other people figure it out. But for me, it does come easy, and I'm blessed to be doing this for a living.
I get an adrenaline rush when I'm organized.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happier when I have everything where I want it to be.
Same here.
So let's talk about one of your star pupils, Laura, a friend of ours named Tom.
Yes, love Tom.
Absolutely. And so Tom's a very, very bright, smart businessman. But Buddy knows Tom, and Buddy, you said Tom used to have piles of stuff.
He was I don't know what, you probably have a word for it, Laura, but he accumulate piles of things around his desk, and he needs you so bad, and you did so much for him.
And so walk us through how you helped Tom, because, to Tom's credit, I saw him recently, and his office looks exactly the way it did when you organized it.
Yep.
So he hasn't relapsed.
Yep.
So fantastic.
So tell us how you helped Tom.
Sure. Well, Tom has a growing business, and so a lot of business owners, they're wearing all their hats. They're hiring as fast as they can, but their own office is going to take the hit.
Right.
And so that's what he had. He just had piles for different employees and different ideas for how to grow business, and so that was what was all over his office. And one of the things we did was we set up trays for each of the employees that he used to accumulate stacks for. Or the other thing he was doing is, he'd find a good article for you, buddy.
Yep.
And then he'd run it down the hall.
Yep.
And then he'd get in a whole conversation with 1 million people before he got back to his office.
Right.
And exaggerating a little bit, but so that cost him a lot in productivity. I mean, maybe he had some good productive conversations along the way, but really it can waste everyone's time if you keep running, the information. And so he set up a tray, labeled Buddy and labeled a few other people that he was working with at the time, and so he could deliver it all at once, or just save it for the next one-on-one meeting that he had with people. So that was a system he needed.
So that, I think you were just describing me, Laura. That's my day. If I'm in the office, everybody stops and says, hey, I just need 5 minutes. And when you give everybody 5 minutes, which becomes 15, it dominates your day, and you don't get anything done that you were hoping to get done because people nickel and dime your time. How do you solve that?
Sure. I mean, there are a few different ways to protect your time. One of it's just really being clear on, what your day needs to look like and what commitments you've made to yourself and other people. And, if you have a door, I mean, obviously that's nice to close it, but more and more the offices are open these days. And so it's a little bit of a free-for-all. Hey, everybody drop by and see me. I actually prefer, the walled offices, at least so you could close the door for part of the day.
Absolutely. Now, I just thought something just crossed my mind. Laura, you don't just help people organize their physical space. You help them organize their clock space, right? Yes. So we do some things with time management, we being, the client and I, and figure out, what is really eating your time. And so, sometimes it's things they're doing, and sometimes it's things that other employees or their boss, is doing to them. So I know one person, they had a hat that they would wear. I know it sounds kind of silly, but they worked in a cubicle space and they had a hat, and they just told their coworkers, I'm working on something really important. When I have the hat on, you're going to have to leave me alone. So that person was very creative. That is a great idea. In trying to secure some time, because you need at least 5 minutes in a row to do some really great thinking. And I'll tell you, I have been around people, and there's a person that I'm thinking of specifically that has never worked for me, but I knew her well and I knew who she worked for. And she was so incredibly disorganized, but that she acted as though she was busy constantly. And it was a defense mechanism to, I guess, protect her job by acting as though she was working very hard. But what she was really doing was working really hard at not working, not being productive, is I guess what I'm saying. And so you can work really hard, but are you producing something? I guess that's the goal. And so why is it so difficult to get organized, Laura? Sure, and I wanted to address what you're talking about, though, the busyness. Yes. And in this digital age, it's so interesting because you could spend the whole day on email. Without a doubt. And not really accomplish a whole lot. So it's tough for employers to kind of get a handle on that, employees and employers. But it's I actually train people on how to do their email so it doesn't eat up their whole day. Yeah, I've read articles on major companies that have created situations where a person cannot check their email but specific windows of the day because it's a time sucker. You get sucked into it, and you wind up answering emails that don't necessarily have to be answered immediately. And wow, yeah, that's very interesting. Mm-hmm. So, Laura, benefits to staying organized. How do you? I mean, you come in and you explain to them why they should get organized. What are the benefits of staying organized? Sure, the benefits of staying organized is it will save you time. The Wall Street Journal did a study a few years ago, and they had said that executives lose 1 hour a day. I think they were talking about managers and on up, but 1 hour a day looking for things. And it's not that you're like you've lost your keys and you're spending a half an hour searching the whole house. I think it's little pockets of time, like you took 3 minutes to find this document and 2 minutes to find this document and 5 minutes by searching for a file on your computer. Mm-hmm. And so it's these little things add up, so it's going to save you time. Okay, so you and I really should work together, because I've interviewed you a number of times, and I think of myself as a fairly organized person if I commit to it, but I can so easily get off track. Time management is a challenge for me. I own a website that has a television component, a TV show, a radio show. The website is a recommendation tool for consumers that's free. They come on my website, and I have to organize a website so people can find what they're looking for. But I wear so many hats, Laura, that what I do is my business is mature enough now that I should get organized. I go in on Monday and I just do catch as catch can. I tackle the next challenge in front of me. I don't have a method. I don't say we're going to shoot videos on Wednesday. So don't come to me on Tuesday and shoot a video. We're going to have a sales meeting on Monday, so don't ask me to do this on Monday. Is there wisdom in creating walls like that?
Well, Dale, you're extremely busy, and it's very impressive, all the things that you're involved in. And so you must be doing something right, first of all. And if you're a Type A's can tend to figure it out in their head and then move forward and accomplish large projects. But what happens sometimes is the details get lost if they don't have good people surrounding them, picking up the details or putting away the files that you just got out on a.
You just described me to a T.
Okay.
You did. That was excellent, because for years as a journalist and a reporter for TV stations, I generally had 4 stories at any given time that I'm working on. I'm working on the story that I have to report today. I'm working on an idea that I plan to report tomorrow. I'm working on a story idea that I'm working on a special project, and it's going to be part of a series that's going to air a month from now. And then finally, the 4th area is that I'm working on a major blockbuster that's going to just leave everybody drop-jawed. So at any given time, those were 4 stories I had in my head every day as to where I was on that story, what I needed to do to accomplish, and that's what I did when I transferred that knowledge and that template into business, is that I continued to carry it in my head, and I communicated my vision verbally with everybody on my team. But my wife, Angie, has finally convinced me that it's time to put as much of that as possible in writing so people can understand exactly what's expected of them. And Laura, you're right. Things fall through the cracks because there's no details to support the vision in many cases. Mm-hmm. Our guest, Laura Ray, and she is the Georgia chapter president of the National Association of Professional Organizers. And we're going to have Laura help you. So if you stick around, Laura, can you stay with us?
Yes, definitely.
Fantastic. And I'm going to ask questions like, do you need to buy special boxes and organizers to get organized? Are there some tips or some tricks to getting this done and keeping organized? So we'll be right back. Thanks for tuning in. You're listening to Talk Radio WGST and a lot of other stations. We'll be right back.
From the Georgia 811 Call Before You Dig News Center, I'm Doug Dodine, GNN News. Some difficult and painful decisions are ahead as the session of the General Assembly begins, but none of that will be tackled today. The first day is devoted to housekeeping and the inauguration of Nathan Deal.
Governor Nathan Deal says education funding is one of his biggest priorities for his second term.
I have made the promise that we're going to look at the way we fund public education, and we will put in place a commission to make recommendations in that regard and hopefully have their recommendations in a legislative format by this time next year.
Deal says he also expects lawmakers to tackle filling the budget hole to maintain bridges and roads. I'm Adam Kirk, GNN News.
One issue on the fast track is so-called medical marijuana. The governor says he'll sign the current bill if it gets to his desk as it is. How about the legalization of recreational marijuana? A worthy issue, but likely to go nowhere fast, says Senate Minority Leader Steve Hinson.
I do not believe that bill will move this session, but it's good to raise the debate, talk about the issue. I mean, would we be cutting the cartels back? Would we be actually cutting crime? Would we raise revenues?
Other bills not quite ready for prime time are another shot at pari-mutuel betting and a casino for the coast. If you live in Middle Georgia, get ready for this. Lawmakers are considering toll lanes from Macon to Atlanta and back. The head of the Atlanta Federal Reserve Bank is predicting an interest rate increase come June or July as the American economy grows and despite global malaise. As we approach the King holiday celebrations, a Fulton County judge could render some kind of decision Tuesday over the future of Martin Luther King Jr.'s Nobel Prize and Bible, which he has locked up in a safety deposit box. Doug Dodine, GNN News.
Traffic on Talk Radio 640 WGST.
Good afternoon. We had an accident clearing 85 northbound past 400, which is going to be 16 minutes ITP between 85 and 285, 15 more OTP up to Holcomb Bridge Road in Roswell, 25 minutes Peachtree Dunwoody Road from the summit of Pill Hill at Johnson Ferry to Abernathy. Also, they cleared the wreck 285 eastbound at I-20 in DeKalb, but you got a 16-minute delay from Boulder Crest. Also in Forest Park, we had a bad truck wreck. Old Dixie Highway northbound at 285 and a chase ended in Coweta County the way they always end in a crash. Highway 29 in Palmetto below Green Top Road. I'm Art Nab, they're on Talk Radio 640 WGST.
This report is brought to you by the Foundation for a Better Life.
When Marlon Shirley was 5, he lost his foot. Today, as the world's fastest amputee, he runs the 100 meters in less time than it takes to listen to this. Overcoming. Pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life.
Talk Radio 640 WGST.
Who do you trust to change your oil? I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell, and believe it or not, I always changed my own oil until I found Haviland Express Lube. My team and I secret shopped competitors all over town, and only one met my 7-point standard, Haviland Express Lube. Why? They're honest, easy on your wallet, and really, really fast. Don't settle for imitators. Visit TrustDALE.com, print off your money-saving coupon, then pull into Haviland Express Lube.
A garage door can make or break the curb appeal of your home. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage Doors. We guarantee that you'll love the look of your new door, and you'll love the fact that it works quietly and efficiently. We have a wide variety of gorgeous garage doors to choose from. And All Four Seasons Garage Door is full service, offering 24/7 emergency repair throughout Metro Atlanta. For garage doors, there's only one name, All Four Seasons Garage Door. Find us at seasonsgarages.com.
This report brought to you by Reliable Heating and Air.
Everything breaks when it's cold. Water lines freeze, electrical panels fail, and furnaces stop heating. Reliable Heating and Air. Open 24 hours a day with customer service reps in the office to serve you. Call today, 770-594-9969. It's hard to stop a train.
Weather on Talk Radio 640 WGST.
Cloudy skies for tonight with a passing shower, low 39 to 45. Tuesday, cloudy skies with a bit of rain, high 48 to 53. Tuesday night, cloudy with a shower, low 35 to 39. Wednesday, spotty drizzle, high 47 to 50. For AccuWeather.com, I'm Andy Robb.
Scam artists don't want you to listen. You're tuned in to TrustDALE Radio. Here's your consumer investigator, Dale Cardwell.
Okay, so we didn't start out today planning on doing New Year's resolutions, but I guarantee you, buddy, that a lot of people say, I've got to get organized.
That's probably one of the number one resolutions other than weight loss or dieting.
And I think that if you want to be organized and if you can't get organized, it's probably fairly depressing that you can't seem to get a handle on your life and on your stuff. So Laura Ray is the chapter president of the National Association of Professional Organizers. And Laura, I've got to believe that when people get organized, they get happier. Am I right?
Most of my clients do, yes.
Good answer. Good answer. So how do you start with somebody? I guess you sit down and just listen to them?
Yes, listening is the most important part, and really figure out, what's going on. With productivity in an office, there's a great book that talks about 12 different things that could be hindering your productivity. A lot of people think it's just organizing the stuff in their office. But it could be several different things. It could be boundaries. You don't ever turn off your work life, and so you're just exhausted. There are many things that contribute to that.
Interesting. So during the holidays, other people not wanting to work really had an impact on me. It was one of the few times in the year I have no choice but to slow down because there's no one to do business with. And, I recognized that I needed to take a deep breath and say, wait a second, Dale, you need to enjoy this time. with your family
Unplug.
and to decompress. So decompressing, I suppose, is a lot of what you help people do?
Yes, and really, figure out what the problem is. I mean, is it truly that, that they just don't know where to put the paper? Or is there, an execution problem of, how to get started? Is it procrastination? In that case, I do have a great tip for most people. To-do lists are one-word tasks. For example, you may say, I've got to get the marketing plan done. So you write on your to-do list, marketing plan. Well, that's a big, huge project.
Yeah.
And so what you want to do is just put your next action item. So maybe you just have to go online and research, if you're an entrepreneur, research how to do a marketing plan. That would be step one. And so just to break it down into those small bites, really, I've seen help my clients.
Be more specific.
Yeah. And so I've had a breakthrough today, buddy.
Oh, all
and
right.
I say that with all respect, is that I've always thought of organizing as physical space, but organizing is mental space as well. Yeah, that's just fascinating. So I suppose you don't need special boxes or anything like that, but you just need to have a plan. Is that right?
Right. There are two things you need. You need a home for items, whether it's work or home, and you need a system. How am I going to deal with things coming in to my workspace or onto my email, and how am I going to and how am I going to get it back out to be productive?
So I guess it varies from client to client, but I suppose some clients you would really be focusing on organizing their computer space, which is kind of intangible. It's inside that screen, but that's a big deal to people. And then I guess some people that hardly turn on a computer, you're helping them organize their physical space.
Yes. I probably do 60% paper. So, and then I probably do, less computer stuff because it feels like, since your computer can hold it all, that it's okay, that it won't get lost. But it's really, email can drain away your time. And so I teach people how to protect their email, and maybe it could save, by unsubscribing from lists, for example, you could save yourself from 700 or 800 emails even hitting your inbox.
Yeah.
So we think you could just click and delete real quick, but not if it's 700 or 800 of them that are coming in every year.
Absolutely, and I learned that a long time ago, that I never give out my email to a solicitor when I purchase a product and they simply say, could you give us an email address? No, or what I do is I give them a spam address that I never use.
Sure, good idea.
Yeah, I don't want that. I don't want to be solicited continually simply because I bought a bubble gum.
Yeah, machine.
Yes, but sometimes it's good things. So, whatever your, association you're a part of, or your favorite hobby, the newsletter comes to you or the e-tip comes to you, and you want to read it, but it's not always possible, and so you just need to delete, until you really, are in a season where you can take a look at that kind of thing. So
absolutely. So, Laura, tips and tricks. Let's say I want to organize my paper, mail, sticky notes, cards, bills, filing. Give us some thoughts and some ideas.
Sure. Well, the nice thing about paper is that there's not limitless ways you can organize it. It's not infinite. So the best way to store paper is in a file folder. And what I find myself saying the most to clients is to be generous with your file folders. So if you have one paper and it's on, let's say a contract with someone, and you want to be able to find that again, but you don't have an email copy, you don't have a digital copy of it, just make a file folder for it. And yes, only one paper will be in that folder, but that's going to be the best way to find it again. That's the whole purpose of filing, is to find it again.
Okay, so that's exactly what I do. The problem, I guess, that I need to solve is that I create so many file folders, and I have them in so many places that I probably need a place to organize my file folders. And put them in a large enough space that I could have them in alphabetical order, or at least organized by tasks, maybe?
Well, you can do it by alphabetical, or you could do it by category. So, for example, when I set up files for small business owners, we usually have a whole file drawer for administrative and financial papers. Then we have a different drawer for sales and marketing, and a different drawer for clients. So this way, when you're trying to find something, you just think of what category is it in, and then inside the drawer, usually it's A to Z.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that makes complete sense. What about kids' clutter? Let's move to the house and the home. People want to pull their hair out because their kids leave clothes all over the place. They don't put up their toys. How do you tackle that problem?
Sure. Well, it depends on what's going on with the family. So often I'll find that kids' rooms don't have a laundry basket. So you mentioned that specifically, but that's a really easy solution. For closets, people who have dry cleaning, I call it dry cleaning litter. If you get your clothes dry cleaned, you've got all these bags and tags, and I always suggest, okay, there's trash in your closet, so let's go ahead and put a trash can in there.
But kids do have a laundry basket. It's called the floor.
Yeah, right, exactly. It's a little training to make that happen, doesn't it?
And so, that backfired on me because my wife, Angie, put a clothes hamper in my son's room when he was a kid. And so what he did, instead of hanging things up, he just put everything he wore into the clothes hamper,
That's so
That became his closet, and, so that didn't help with the laundry bills. But that's a great idea, and I'll tell you how important a laundry basket is. We were victims of the Dunwoody tornado in 1998, and we had to move out of our house for 10 months, and they had to rebuild our house. And something as simple as the kids not knowing where the laundry basket is can have a huge impact on your life, because it leads to clutter. And then you finally say, and the kids, they're creatures of habit. If they know where the laundry basket is, then they'll finally start using it. But you move it, you're in trouble.
Sure. And I really like to tie, a task as putting clothes in a hamper as really training your kids up for, what they need to know to be independent when they move out of your house.
Right.
And it's interesting, today's society, people are so into, having their kids be in activities, but yet have they taught them how to, put their clothes in the laundry hamper, or, when they're old enough, do the laundry, so I really take it seriously when I work with families because, there's only, a limited amount of years when they're in your house, and these are the years to train them to do those kind of tasks so they can have an orderly house and know how to take control of their house.
Incredibly important. You talk about teaching kids a skill that will serve them well in later years. Teach them how to be organized, and then they'll have an organized house.
And I don't know about that, Dale, because we both have adult children living at home.
I know. What's up? How did that happen?
Really explain that, Laura, when we come back.
This is not the compartment you're supposed to be in.
Right.
Go get your own compartment. It's called an apartment. That's funny. Laura Ray is our special guest. We're going to be organizing your life when we come back. Stick around.
Good afternoon. We had an accident clearing 85 northbound past 400, which is going to be 16 minutes ITP between 85 and 285, 15 more OTP up to Holcomb Bridge Road in Roswell, 25 minutes Peachtree Dunwoody Road from the summit of Pill Hill at Johnson Ferry to Abernathy. Also, they cleared the wreck 285 eastbound at I-20 in DeKalb, but you got a 16-minute delay from Boulder Crest. Also in Forest Park, we had a bad truck wreck. Old Dixie Highway northbound at 285, and a chase ended in Coweta County the way they always end, in a crash, Highway 29 in Palmetto below Greentop Road. I'm Mark Nabman there on Talk Radio 640 WGST.
This report is brought to you by the Foundation for a Better Life.
Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor?
Hi, neighbor. Mr. Rogers passed along friendship, hoping we would too. Friendship, pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
This is Jay and Lewis, owners of Engineered Solutions of Georgia. Lewis, we have billboards up all over town that say we have an engineer on staff. How does that benefit the homeowner?
We are a licensed engineering firm. We have an engineer on staff right in our office. This allows us to offer our exclusive triple protection warranty. We have errors and omissions insurance, so our triple protection warranties are backed by a national insurance company. Without an engineered repair, there is no design warranty.
So do other companies have an engineer on staff?
No, Jay. Some national companies may have an engineer in the who knows where home office, but I doubt they make house calls.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell. I've done the research already, so you don't have to. You can trust Engineered Solutions of Georgia.
Give Engineered Solutions of Georgia a call at 678-ESOG now.
Engineered Solutions of Georgia. We guarantee a stable, dry foundation. Dial 678-ESOG now.
If you're a homeowner, there's two threats you always need to watch out for: stormy weather and storm chasers. Severe storms can be a serious threat to your roof, from major damage to invasive leaks. The second threat, storm chasers, those unlicensed contractors who appear at your door or solicit by mail and use fraud to get your business. They promise a new roof for free by defrauding your insurance company. When these guys get caught, you're the one who's going to pay. Don't take chances. You need a roofer you can trust. Dr. Roof. They've been in Atlanta for over 25 years. With Dr. Roof, you get excellent workmanship from trained experts. They understand your roof is a major investment protecting your entire home. Dr. Roof guarantees to get the job done right and build it to last. A sudden leak, true storm damage, or simply time for a new roof? Dr. Roof has integrity. They're TrustDALE certified. Call Dr. Roof at 770-552-7663 or online at drroof.com. That's drroof.com.
At All Good Pest Solutions, our job is simple: to protect your family. 95% of bug problems come from outside your home. Your home is also your largest investment. You want to safeguard it from pests and create an environment where you and your kids can play and feel safe. All Good Pest Solutions has spent the past 40 years protecting families and homes like yours. We take pride in providing you with the best service, year-round protection, and a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Your family is the center of your world. Let our family protect yours. All Good Pest Solutions. When bugs are all gone, it's all good. Visit allgoodpestsolutions.com for a free estimate.
Fighting for you and finding solutions. This is TrustDALE Radio. Your consumer investigator, Dale Cardwell.
All right, we are on the home stretch today, buddy.
I know.
And it's a subject I want to continue to talk about.
Exactly.
Laura Ray is the chapter president of the National Association of Professional Organizers, and I'm convinced, buddy, here in this show that we need Laura's services.
I agree.
At TrustDALE.com. And because we're very efficient for our clients and for consumers, but in terms of our inner office workings, I think we could all benefit from some organization skills.
There's always room for improvement.
Absolutely. When you get to the point where you don't think you can improve, you're in trouble.
You're in trouble.
Right. So, Laura, how do you price your product? Tell me, you've got different ways of helping people. You help families get their families organized, their space and their time. You help businesses get organized, space and time. So how do you price this product?
Sure. Well, the range in Atlanta for organizers is about $50 an hour to $100 an hour. And so obviously with business organizing being on the high end of that scale. Mm-hmm. And so I personally price by the hour, but then there are other organizers that might give you a package, but I just like it to keep things simple, and I do a cost estimate. I come to your home or business. You can reach me at organizeatlanta.com, by the way, and set up a consultation and talk about what your needs are, and then I'll give you a time and cost estimate on how long I think that'll take. And it's just really great to see that, you know, the transformation that, you know, of how I can help and how working together to, you know, to solve some of these problems. How quickly can the organization get done, and how long can projects last? So give us a range of experience. Sure. So for example, a manager at a corporation, so my average time is about 9 to 12 hours. Mm-hmm. And then for the office, and then if we work on their email, we usually do a 3-hour session. And I also do just email just alone. Some people, that's all they need. They need to conquer those 5,000 emails, which happens quite more than you think. And then for the home, the average project is about 12 to 20 hours. I know it sounds like a lot, but I always say it didn't get like this, you know, in a day. So it's not going to be, it's not going to be organized in a day either. And we also want to build systems that'll last.
Oh, without a doubt. And obviously we've referenced the fact that there's a National Association of Professional Organizers. So our friends and listeners in North Texas and in Birmingham and in Nashville and in Tampa, how do they get in touch with your organization?
Sure, NAPO.net. And I know there are organizers in all those places that you mentioned.
And it's NAPO?
Yes, thank you. NAPO.net. Yes, that's our national website.
Have you ever encountered somebody you just couldn't help, Laura?
So personally, I don't work with people who have hoarding behavior.
Yeah.
But some of my colleagues do. So that's a skill, and those organizers are trained. So fortunately, we all have our gifts, and so I tend to work with home and residential clients.
How do you keep organized? How do you keep from relapsing?
Sure. How to maintain those? Well, if you have a good system, you got to trust your system. David Allen is an international productivity expert, and he said it's all about trusting the system. It sounds like a martial arts thing, trust the system. But if you have a to-do list that you stick to, for example, you keep going back to that one list. Don't make another list, and don't make a third list of all the same items, because then you won't feel good about what you're supposed to be working on. And then a real important thing is, what do you say no to? So it's, keeping your systems, keeping your boundaries, and having a home for the stuff.
Absolutely. So, Laura, you're only one person. Are there other people like you in town?
There sure are. Yes, for NAPO, Georgia, we have about 60 organizers.
Nice.
And a lot are across the metro Atlanta area, but we also have some north and some way south. And that, if you can do a search for NAPO, Georgia.
Ah, okay.
And that'll bring up a Find an Organizer page.
Absolutely. So if you don't mind me asking, do you try to stick to a 40-hour week, or do you find yourself overwhelmed sometimes by taking on too many projects?
Sure. Well, the nice thing about having your own business is there is some flexibility. So it's not every week that I have total control of the hours.
Right.
But I have a 7-year-old son. My husband and I do, and so it's nice. I can usually work with a client and be home for the bus.
Nice.
Some days.
Nice.
So a lot of days. So and then I take on some Saturday clients, and it's really as much as I want it to be. It's just a blessing, and there's lots of people who need more time in their life, and it's nice to be called and help them out.
How do you know when you've reached a point where you need a professional like yourself?
Well, for homes, sometimes is that a bill didn't get paid. Sometimes there's a trigger point. Sometimes it's the referrals that I get are from friends of now clients who said, you just need to call someone to help. You can't do it all. It's realizing that you can't do it all, whatever your season in life is. The same way we'd call a financial planner. If you can't get it done and you don't feel comfortable about what you've got in your life at the time, call for some help.
One of the things that I saw you do that I thought was fascinating is that we all talk about how the kitchen is the new living room. And I remember when you did a pantry for a client and just did a phenomenal job, and how organized and how much better that kitchen functioned with the family there, cooking together, living together, and it was amazing.
Thank you. And it's sometimes just, I do have some training and then some natural inborn gifts where I see things differently, but really it's just coming into your space with fresh eyes.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what it is, and really seeing what's logical. Okay, so you're walking 10 feet to get a glass of water, and the glasses are 10
right.
10 feet this way, and it's really I do that for homes and for businesses. It's just, I just ask the questions. Why are you doing that?
Well, they got that little counter thing on their arm that counts their steps, and they're trying to get more steps.
There you go.
Yes,
so I'm curious,
right.
Alfred Romero, our engineer. Alfred, are you an organized guy? He's not listening to us.
Oh,
he's deep into thought. He's engineering. That's what he's doing. I'll have to ask him later. So what is the biggest transformation you've ever seen, Laura?
Gosh, the biggest transformation. I worked with one couple on their garage, and it was a drive-under. And for years they had been, they didn't have a basement, so they were just piling things in and piling things in, and they really felt, had a lot of guilt and shame that they didn't, that there was stuff in there that people could be using. They're, foster children who need clothes, and they just, put all their kids' clothes in the basement, and they just hadn't dealt with any of it. And so when we cleaned out that garage, it was like, a dark cloud lifted from their eyes.
Wow.
I mean, it was really amazing.
That's, I have a recurring dream. Everybody has dreams that it's the last day of school. The semester has come and gone, and they realize that they did not attend a class and they have to take a final, right? So, I have dreams where I have discovered that I have ignored something, and here it is, and it's right in front of me, and I didn't use it properly.
That's in your basement, isn't
It
it?
is. It probably is. Well, Laura, thank you so much for the advice today, and it's such an interesting subject. How do people find you?
My website is organizeatlanta.com, and my I'm just going to leave it with the email address. Organizeatlanta.com is really the best way to reach me, and send me an email, and I'll write you right back or give you a call.
Perfect. And I'm going to put Buddy in charge of talking to you about helping TrustDALE.com become even better organized. How's that?
I'll give you a call, Laura. We'll get you on the calendar.
I would love to. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Laura. TrustDALE Radio is brought to you by Haviland Express Lube. These folks are the experts at changing your oil, and the reason I love this service, among many reasons, is that they specialize in that. They top off your fluids, they check the air in your tires, and they are professional at what they do. Also by Home Energy Solutions. If you're ready to stop giving the power company hundreds of dollars that you should not be, go to HESnow.com and start saving. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you next time.